If you don't understand how your tasks and activities connect together, you'll get the sequence all wrong and your project timeline will fall apart. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a project network diagram in Google Sheets. This is a simple system that I've used successfully across hundreds of projects for over 15 years in my role as a project manager to map out dependencies and see what's really driving project end dates. And if you're not quite sure what a project network diagram is, I have a full explainer video on this channel. I will leave a link in the description down below if you did want to check that out at any point. That being said, let me now walk you through the build. So the first thing I recommend that you do, create a brand new sheet and give the document a clear title that includes project network diagram. Chances are you will be sharing this with stakeholders and they're going to want to see what they're looking at and understand clearly what it is. It's also a good idea to kind of change the sheet name, the first sheet name to that as well. Once you've done that, what you're going to do, if you select this kind of rectangle top left click that, and that will enable you to select every single column and row in the sheet. Now, if you hover in between two columns, so for example, A and B, this icon will appear. If you left click when you see that and then drag across to about a third of where it was before, that will basically change all of the cells from kind of wider cells to this kind of square look and effect. And that will just make your project network diagram much better visually and easier to create going forward. Once you've done that, we're going to start building out the nodes from B2. Now, as I say, I do have an explainer video which will walk you through what a node is and what all of these different acronyms stand for, but I will mention them briefly just so you understand what we're doing in this video. So in B2, the first thing I want you to put is ES. Now that stands for early start. Now this will be the earliest date that the task can start. And we're going to be building out a node for each and every activity in the project. So just bear that in mind. We've got ES here. In C2 is D, we're going to type in D, and that stands for duration or how long the task takes. In the top right of each activity, we are going to put EF. That stands for early finish. Now this is the earliest date the task can finish. In B3, I'm going to put in task name. This is where we specify exactly what the task is called. Could also be task number as well. Bottom left, I'm going to type in LS. This is the late start or the latest date the task can start without delaying the project. In here, I'm going to put in F. This is the float, sometimes referred to as the slack. This is how much time the task can slip without impacting the end date. In the bottom right, I'm going to put LF. Now this is the late finish. This is the latest date the task can finish without delaying the project. So what we're doing here is we're adding a lot of information for each task and activity that helps us understand our timeline. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select from B2 through to D4. I'm going to bold all of this. I'm going to, in the align, I'm going to middle align like this. I'm also going to put on all borders and it creates this nice kind of table effect. On B3, so select B3, left click and drag through to D3, I'm going to merge them and that basically creates this look and this is exactly what we're looking for. Now I will leave in the description down below all of those definitions of what each stands for, so early start, duration, etc. But if you wanted to, and it is usually good practice to kind of put them in here or kind of create a separate sheet which has definitions, just so, as I say, if you share this with stakeholders, they know exactly what everything means. You know, you don't really want to use acronyms. It's not really ideal. It can cause confusion. So this is here. The next thing I suggest that you do is click on View and on Show, kind of hover over it, and then remove the grid lines. And that will create this kind of canvas effect. It just makes it look much better visually. So we're going to do that. The other thing that you can do, particularly if you add kind of information on how to use your project network diagram, like definitions maybe in here, you could also click on View, Freeze, and you can kind of freeze this section in. So what you could do as an example is select column F, View, Freeze, and then up to column F, and you'll see this line come down. So if we were to build out our project network diagram to the right, so we're adding lots of columns and we go beyond here, this would always remain in view. So it kind of breaks things up and is really nice visually and is a nice kind of helpful guide. But you don't necessarily have to do that. It's just kind of a recommendation. At this point, when it comes to building your project network diagram, you have various different options. This is my recommended way. So if you select from B2 through to D4, press Control C. Now I am working on a Windows. It could be that you're operating on a Mac. Essentially, you need the keyboard shortcut to copy this. To do that, and then go in something like H2 and press Control V, or the keyboard shortcut to paste. Now you can do this slightly differently. You could open up something like the snipping tool, and you could kind of select this like this, and then you could press copy, and then you could paste, and it will kind of add it as an image, which can be useful. But the problem with this approach is that that's now locked in as an image and as a picture. We can't amend this information. So I wouldn't actually recommend that you do that, but it is an option for you if you wanted to. I just wanted to show that because some people might wonder how you can do that. But as I say, what we do at this point is we'd start adding the activities and the data for each node, if you like. So let's just say, as an example, activity 1 or task 1, let's just call this task 1 for now. The early start is kind of day 1. The duration is 4 days. The early finish is 6 days, etc. Now let me remove this and this and this. So when it comes to building the network diagram, what we'd essentially be doing from here is we'll be selecting, say, this from H2 through to J4, Control C, and then let's just say in L2, Control V. Now this would be, say, task 2. And then again from, say, to get activity 3, we'll be doing this. So this is how you essentially build it out. You create it and then you copy and paste. And then what we could do here is just to say, put task 4 in here. And then we could put, say, task 5 in here. And then let's just put task 7 in here. Okay, so there's a reason I'm doing this, by the way. And what I want to show you now is how you create the dependencies. And the way you do that is you add arrows. You're showing what task is interrelated to the other ones. So let's just say task 2 can't start until task 1 is finished. So I need to wipe all this out because that is now incorrect. To add the arrows and do this in Google Sheets is very, very simple. You press Insert, then you press Drawing, and then what we need to do is create the arrow from here. So if you look up here, where it says line, there's a drop down. And what you want to do is select arrow. Now, what I recommend that you do is go to the top left. So you see this here and draw in a little arrow like this. At which point you can change kind of how thick you want the arrow to be. And you can also change the kind of end of the arrow as well. It could be like this. It could look more like this, or you could do it like this. You do want an arrow though. So let's just do that for now. Save and close. And then what that will do is it will create this little kind of arrow. If you hover over, you'll see this little hand, and then you can basically put it in. And it makes sense to kind of click on it and drag it just so it kind of looks better visually, like that. Left click, and then basically get that hand and then drag it and basically connect the two. Now, it does take a little bit of playing around with. You want it to look obviously fantastic visually, but what you want to do is basically build out the dependencies. So this is saying task 1 can't start until task 1 is finished. And you basically go through that process. Now, if I Control C, I don't think we can copy arrows. So unfortunately, you have to do it manually. So again, that'd be Insert. So what you'd probably want to do, drawing, is make sure all your arrows are really kind of simple to build. So, just keep them as the default. Make sure it's obviously nice and straight, which does play a bit around, have to play around a little bit with. Press save and close, and then we've got another one coming here, and then you'd basically just build them out, okay? Make sure they're all in line. That's obviously, if I left click that, that's obviously gone way off. But you get the idea of what I'm trying to do here. You just need to kind of manipulate and make it look great visually. Now, this is a little bit off, this line. You want it to be straight. But yeah, this is the best way I've found to do it in Google Sheets. But Google Sheets does have a lot of benefits over other platforms I've found for building these out, which is why I kind of recommend that you do it in here. But you get the idea. Now, that does look off, but yeah. The last thing I want to touch upon is I've kind of built this project network diagram in this way for a particular reason. In this example, I would say connect task 3 to 4. But the reason I put task 7 here is what I'm showing is if I put the arrow down and built that out, and I put an arrow between task 3 and task 7, what I'm showcasing here is that task 7 is actually related and dependent on task 3. And task 5 might go through to kind of task 6 over here. It just enables you to create this kind of visual breakdown of, it could be tasks that aren't necessarily the next task in the project, but are related to previous task that came before it. That's what I'm trying to illustrate here. So imagine these two are connected. Imagine 4 goes into 5 and 5 goes into 6. Hopefully that makes sense. And then 7 could go into 8 over here. So you can just create this kind of complex network effect. But yeah, I think that's where I want to leave this video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I hope it was useful. As I say, if you're confused with project network diagrams, I do have another video on this channel, link in the description down below. With that said, over to you, best of luck, and I hope you have an excellent day.